Hey people, this is my weekly rundown of entertainment news that interests me, and I'm very sorry that I was not able to get the video up on Saturday like I usually do. There's a problem with my internet, it was down for the whole day, so I wasn't able to get the pictures that I need for this, or upload it obviously, but I've got it back now, so thanks for sticking with me. Anyway, I've got a few interesting stories that I want to talk about in this video, starting with the one that's got me the most worked up, which is about Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It's kind of an update on last week's story. It's been known for a while that Spider-Man will be making an appearance on the show. What I did not know, though, was that Josh Keaton, the actor who played Spider-Man on The Spectacular Spider-Man, would be reprising his role in this series. And that's pretty exciting for fans of Spectacular Spider-Man, just because that show was canceled after 2 seasons. It was great. I think there are a lot of people who really miss it now that Ultimate Spider-Man's there, but don't want to talk too much about that. And just Josh Keaton returning to it in an animated series is almost like a continuation of Spectacular, like we're seeing that character's story continued. But it's not going to happen because it was revealed that Marvel has decided to dub over Josh Keaton's performance with Drake Bell from Ultimate Spider-Man, which is just awful in so many ways. I don't want to rag on Drake Bell. I mean, I haven't watched that much of Ultimate Spider-Man, but let's assume that Drake Bell is a pretty good Spider-Man. I think Josh Keaton is a better Spider-Man, but let's just assume that Drake Bell is a decent Spider-Man. Just the idea of having an actor like Josh Keaton who had already recorded his performance for multiple episodes of the show, and then you just tell him that, no, we're just going to scrap everything you do, throw it away, and not involve you in this series whatsoever. We're replacing you with somebody else. It's awful. I mean, like, who does that kind of thing? It's pretty terrible. And then for the fans' sake, everyone who misses Spectacular Spider-Man and was looking forward to seeing Josh Keaton come back and feeling like, yes, I'm getting a little piece of Spectacular back, it's kind of a slap in the face to them. It's like, no, we don't care about all of you. We've got our own plans. We've got our own thing that we're doing right now. We're doing Ultimate Spider-Man, so we want to involve that actor with this. So that's kind of awful. So you screwed over Josh Keaton, you screwed over the fans, and now the product is probably going to suffer as a result. The only good thing that I can possibly see about this is maybe this is a good sign for Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, because there's been a lot of talk that Marvel wants to build up their animated universe, and they want to do that around Ultimate Spider-Man. So they might be replacing Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes with a show that more fits in line with Ultimate Spider-Man, like that continuity, that style, and everything. So maybe if Drake Bell is going to be the Spider-Man of the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes world as well as Ultimate Spider-Man, that's a good sign that they are willing to kind of make a compromise there and have the two shows be loosely connected and let Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes continue. I'm hoping that's the case. I really am. And if I'm correct, the actor who plays the Hulk on Avengers Mightiest Heroes, played the Hulk in Ultimate Spider-Man as well. So maybe both of those are a good sign for Avengers. That is the only possible good thing that could come out of this. Like, if we lose Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes and we missed out on the chance to hear Josh Keaton as Spider-Man again on an animated series, that's just awful. And this is probably one of Marvel Animation's worst decisions that they've made in a very long time. But if you are a fan of Josh Keaton's performance on Spectacular Spider-Man, be sure to check him out on Green Lantern, the animated series. He plays the lead role of Hal Jordan there and does a great job once again. So if you do kind of miss him on that, check him out there. And he was actually on an episode of Young Justice as well, playing a kind of Spider-Man rip-off villain character. It was kind of an homage to Spectacular in a way. So be sure to check out DC animated shows if you are one of the people who sticks mainly to Marvel. I mean, they're doing some great stuff as well, and if you're comparing Green Lantern and Young Justice to Avengers and Ultimate Spider-Man's bringing Marvel down. So right now, DC is kind of kicking Marvel's butt in my opinion. So, but I do still love Avengers, so be sure to keep supporting Avengers, Green Lantern, and Young Justice. And if you do like Ultimate Spider-Man, I guess you can watch that too. Don't want to be negative about that, but not a fan of that show. Keeping it with Spider-Man for a second, there are 2 new viral videos out for The Amazing Spider-Man that focus on Dr. Kurt Connors and his experiment, which are pretty interesting to watch. They show kind of after, you can tell that he's already experimented on himself and tried to regrow his arm back, so definitely check those out if you're looking forward to that movie. There's some new pictures from the set of Iron Man 3 which feature this armor here, which looks a lot like the Iron Patriot armor from the comics. If you don't know anything about that, just to sum it up pretty quickly, Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, Spider-Man's villain, takes control of a lot of Tony Stark's assets and becomes this like high-up government official. After like this crazy turn of events, he disbands S.H.I.E.L.D. and replaces it with his own organization called Hammer, and he forms his own team of Avengers in a series that's called the Dark Avengers. But he is this character here called the Iron Patriot who has Iron Man's armor but paints it up to look very patriotic like Captain America to kind of invoke that symbolism there. So it's all part of an effort to convince the general public that he's like this great hero. But anyway, Norman Osborn is not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe because Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man and all of those characters. So obviously they can't adapt the Iron Patriot story that closely from the comics without Norman Osborn. That's kind of a big chunk of it. And James Badge Dale, the actor who was cast as a character known as Cold-Blood from the comics, is the person who has been seen in this armor. So I'm pretty sure that's the actor who was seen in this armor. So obviously he's not the traditional Cold-Blood from the comics, and he's not the exact Iron Patriot character. And there's also a character who wears like this red, white, and blue armor called Detroit Steel, I guess. I don't know anything about that. I've just seen pictures and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how this turns out and who exactly this character will be. While I'm on the subject of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I want to congratulate the Avengers on becoming the 3rd highest grossing movie of all time, beating out Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, which is pretty major if you think about it. I mean, Harry Potter was a worldwide phenomenon. I am a big fan of the Harry Potter series, and Deathly Hallows Part 2 was like the grand finale of everything. I mean, there are no more books coming out, there are no more movies. It's like all culminated in this one movie. So for the Avengers to beat that is pretty major. So the only 2 movies that are above the Avengers are Titanic and Avatar, both James Cameron movies that have made over $2 billion. So it's not looking like the Avengers will be able to beat either of those, unfortunately. But as a comic book fan, I am hoping that Avengers 2 will be able to maintain the hype and raise the bar so that it will stand a chance of toppling one of the James Cameron movies, if not both, when it comes out. There's a new interview out with Stephen Ammel, star of the new CW TV series Arrow, which is about Green Arrow. They just left the green off the title. But anyway, if you are interested in this series or just want to find out more about it, definitely check that out. The last story I want to talk about in this video is the trailer for the new Tomb Raider game that has come out, and it looks pretty awesome to me. I'm not like a major fan of the Tomb Raider series. I mean, I played the old games a little bit back in the day, and I saw the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movies, which were pretty mediocre. But this looks like something very cool and new. It's a reimagining of the Tomb Raider world with the origin of Lara Croft. So she's not this like fearless badass that we know her as from the older games. She's this pretty normal person who's thrown into this very crazy, dangerous, scary situation and is just trying to survive. And she becomes stronger because of that. So that should be a cool story to see progress and a cool game to play. And I think that the look of it, it seems like it could be a cool basis for a movie. And I think there are those people out there who are dismissing this as an Uncharted ripoff, but I think people could have said that Uncharted was a Tomb Raider ripoff when it came out, because Tomb Raider in its heyday was a pretty big game franchise. So Uncharted was sensible to look at Tomb Raider when they were making their first game. So Tomb Raider if they are looking at Uncharted, which it seems like they are a little bit, I mean, there are some kind of similar things, it makes sense because Uncharted is one of the biggest franchises of this generation. So not to be all super comic book geeky on you, but it's sort of like how Jor-El said in Superman the movie, the son becomes the father and the father becomes the son. So don't really fault Tomb Raider for its similarities to Uncharted, and I don't think it looks that similar to Uncharted in the sense that the tone of the game, the feel of the game, like the flow of the gameplay, it seems more kind of like Laura is struggling, whereas Uncharted is more like a fun adventure. This is kind of more of this scared girl running around and trying to survive. But I think it's something to keep an eye on. Definitely check out this trailer. It looks pretty cool. Anyway, E3 is coming up this week, so there will be a lot of very cool video game stuff coming out. I'm very excited to see Nintendo's conference, because they are unveiling the Wii U's full games, really, not like little demo games like they showed last year. This is like the real deal. We're seeing like real serious games. So our first glimpse at the real next generation of video game consoles. So even if you're not a Nintendo fan, it's something that's probably going to be worth checking out. And then Sony and Microsoft might have some pretty cool stuff too. So Microsoft will probably be showing off Halo 4, so that's something that I'm going to be probably looking forward to. But if I had to keep my fingers crossed for one game being unveiled at E3, I have to say that I'm really hoping to see Star Wars Battlefront 3, because I've been playing Battlefront 2 a little bit, just randomly. I mean, I set up my PS2 again, and the game holds up. Like, it's a really fun game. Like, the system of it is really fun. So Battlefront 3, with all the games and all the advancements that have come out this generation, I think could be an amazing game. I'd love to play it. Also, Mega Man Legends 3, really dying to play that game, but that's seeming more unlikely now. So fingers crossed for Battlefront 3, probably not going to happen. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, subscribe, and tune in next time.